Hi guys, welcome to another how-to video. Today we're going to look at the iVMS-4200, how to install it, how to go through the basic settings and some nice little things that some people don't know, so hopefully you'll find this a benefit. As by now you probably know I'm Dave, CTO at DVS. So we're going to crack on straight away, dive straight into it. So first things first, make sure you've got the latest version. So it's either on the Hikvision website or you can contact us here. We'll send you a link to download the latest version. The current latest version that we're going to be working on is version 2.7.0.10. So we're on the installer wizard. We're going to use Windows as well to do this. So we're just going to click next. Accept the license agreement and click next. This is the free software, by the way, so there's no licenses involved in this, paid for licenses. It is free. So one of the first things we get asked to do is what do we want to install? The default is the client, but we can install the storage server and the stream media server. Storage server is only needed if you're going to use the PC and record footage from the devices if you add an IP camera directly to the storage server. So you can turn your PC into a recorder. And the stream media server is when you've got multiple devices going out to multiple clients, but we tend not to use that at all. And you can select your destination folder and you can select your disk space. So by default, we're just going to install the client, so we're going to click next. We're going to click on install. So this can take a couple of minutes to install, so I'm just going to enjoy a nice cup of tea, play some on hold music for you while we wait for this. The old Peaky Blinders cup. Okay, so we've installed that. We're going to click next to create desktop for client. Let that catch up. And we're going to click finish. So desktop is there. So we're going to click on that to open it. The first time you open the software, it'll ask you to set the administrator setting, so your administrator username and password. So wait for this to catch up, and then we are just going to set a default one so we can auto log in. There we go. So what we're going to do first is set up a super user admin. And I'm going to click enable auto login, click register. Of course it has to be secure. Okay, they made it very secure now. Let's use my default one. There we go. Now we wait for that to open. What you will find is on the new version, they generally get to about 55 to 58%, and it takes a little longer to load. Not a problem. It's just sorting some database read and writes out, so we'll just wait for that to catch up. Okay, 100%. Great. So we'll open that up, click off that, make it full screen. So first thing it does, obviously you'll see there's nothing added as device management wise, but it's scanning the network and it can see some devices there. So what we'll do, first off, we'll add a default device and we'll add the demo room device, so we call it DVS demo room. We'll add it by 192.168.3.30. It's 8001, username is admin, password. If you leave export to group ticked, it'll create a group based on the nickname and import all the channels. So if we click on add, it'll take a little bit. There we are. So it's brought that in, import succeeded. So that device is imported. Now if I click it, so what you'll see is under group, it's created the group and you can see all the cameras listed there. Now to make this really nice and simple, if I click on encoding channel, right click and click update camera name, it'll update the OSD text based on the NVR OSD text. So there we go. Nice and simple, you don't have to rename any cameras. That's one of the sort of ones that when you show people, saves them a lot of time and effort. Really nice thing to have. Click back device. Again, if I just click on this one is seen on the network, click to add the client and call it DVS building. And it's a different password. Now if I click export to group, untick it and click on add, it will create and add it in. What you'll find is now, under group, it doesn't add it as a folder, it doesn't import anything. So what you'll see is if you add a device and maybe you get the password wrong or the ports wrong, and then you click modify, change it, and then it comes online, it won't have created the group because you haven't re-added it with the export to group ticked. So what you can do then is click on add a group, create group by device name, click yes, DVS building, click OK, and it'll create another folder with all the cameras. Click on an encoding channel, update camera name, and that'll import all the OSD text from the NVR. Quite a lot of cameras on that one, but there we go, job done. Click on device. So once we've done that, so you can keep adding devices like that, that's no problem, really easy to do. If you click on one, say, and then click on remote configuration, you've got advanced, and then it brings up the complete menu. So you just got the advanced stuff. So if we click on OK like that, and then click on general, it'll bring up the full. There you go. So you've got the web interface now. So on this latest version, if you click on, so you've got, basically it's the web browser, if you come out with that. So you've got general or advanced. So the advanced is like the old style where you click on it like that and it'll load. Every NVR, and depending on the firmware, will be slightly different, but it brings up the interface where you can then set stuff as required. So nice and handy. So if I click on this one and do remote config, you'll see there that's the old style with all of them because that's on the older GUI, but this one's on the latest firmware. So when I click remote config, it gives me the option of both. Okay, so other things we can do. If we wanted to reset a password, for instance, we can select the device down here. It has to be online, you know, like the SADP function. We can click reset password, export the file, send it off to us or Hikvision, and then you can import it back and put the password in and click OK, and that would reset the password like the SADP version, but built into the 4200. There's a separate video if you need to show how to do that. Other functionalities, if you click on it and click device status, like a health, click on this, it's like a health monitoring, so it tells you each camera, and click refresh and it'll just refresh it. It tells you each camera the recording status, signal status, hardware status, and you can click and scroll down to see everything there and click off OK. Or you can click on it and click on online users, and that tells you who's logged into that recording and what IP address they're logged into. So someone on that IP address is logged into our recorder. It's probably one of the sales guys doing a demo on site now. So we just click on OK. Next thing we can do is if we click on add device type, you'll see here there's by default it's Hikvision devices, but we can actually click Hik-Connect device here, Pyronic, stream media server, and third-party encoding devices, and then click on OK. So if we click on the Hik-Connect device, for instance, I can now select my country, which is United Kingdom, click login. I can log in there, so DVS.co.uk. That should log me into my Hik-Connect account now, and it's imported my devices there. So again, if I wanted to, I can click on that and click remote configuration, and it'll bring up the interface. We'll just close that down. So that's how you do it through Hik-Connect, and then if you click log out, it'll log you out of the Hik-Connect account, and then you can log into another account for testing, etc. But that's Hik-Connect. We've also got third-party encoding devices. So if you click add, you can actually select an on-VIF camera and all these different manufacturers and add these cameras directly into our software. And if you're using the third-party or the recording side of it, you can actually record that camera directly onto the you know, through the software if you wanted to. Most people would add in a non-VIF device if they just want to view it as a third-party device through our software, but these other manufacturers are also supported. So click cancel that. I don't have a third-party camera that I can add in. The other one's the upgrade server. So we now support automatic upgrade. It's probably not something that I would use personally, but we do support the automatic upgrade. What I normally do is go into tool, and then go into system configuration, and then under what you've got is the software set up by default, but there's some things that I like to change. So the enable auto login I leave because it's only my PC. If it was a PC that a lot of people had access to, then you would disable automatic login. Pop-up security prompt when using default password. I'm not using the default one. And there's other things you can set there, but I always disable enable upgrading device automatically and click save. So I don't want my devices to be automatically updated. I want to be able to manage that myself. Under live view and playback, we've got enable screen toolbar display, prioritize video on storage server, resume live status after restart, disconnect background video and single live view I always leave ticked on, enable that one as well, and click save. And then under image, auto change stream type is critical, that should always be ticked. When it's on a 4-way split, it'll bring through the HD image. If you do a screen split of say 9-way or above, it'll start to bring through the substream. Now if you left that as mainstream and you had 36 cameras coming through, there's no way the software, the PC and the network would support 36 HD images. You'd probably find the software will hang and then crash, the network will be bombarded, and you'll have a very unhappy client. So always leave that as auto change stream type ticked. Hardware decoding preferred. If you've got a graphics card with a GPU on there, this PC does have one, so I could tick that. It enables the graphics card to do a lot of the processing, so I can effectively tick that, and I disable these ones and click save. But these, we can go through these later, or you can give me a call and we can go through each one independently. The file is where the default file location is. If you're downloading or saving images from the software, that's the default location. Click on that and then you can save and locate it to a new location should you wish. Most people do leave it as the default location. And then you've got the toolbar. I always enable all of the icons for the toolbar and click save. And you can do like the alarm sounds, email settings, video intercom, access control and security certificates. Click save. That's about all we need to do in the system configuration itself. Like I say, the main one is this hardware auto change stream type and the hardware decoding, and then you've got the disconnect background videos in single live view there, so kind of the 3 critical ones. Let's close that down. Now we finished in device management. Like I said, we can continually add devices, or you can use the Hik-Connect there. So under main view, so once we click that in the control panel, we've got main view. Click on main view. On the left hand side, we've got our folders we created earlier. So we've got Dave DVS, which is my Hikvision Connect account. Click that and there's all my cameras that I've added through my different Hik-Connect devices. Some of them I've just added in directly anyway, but I've got the DVS demo room, for instance. If I double click on this, now it'll load all of the cameras. He'll put it into like a 36-way split, and it'll load all of my cameras that are connected to the demo room NVR. Now as you can see, all of them are coming through. If, for instance, I double click on one, it'll go full screen, and you can see it in the main HD resolution. This is a PTZ. So, for instance, if I go to PTZ control, on the left-hand side, it'll open up the virtual PTZ controller. You can plug a USB joystick into the PC and have it's the DS1005KI. That is the USB control for the software. But again, your standard PTZ controls, very responsive. Obviously depends on your PC and your network, but it is very responsive. And then you can set patrols, patterns, presets. So if I wanted to call preset 1, I can call it. Preset 2, call it. Go back to preset 1. And you've got the zoom, iris, focus, wiper control, and all of the standard PTZ functionality control. So what we'll do then, so that is the standard one. You can use a joystick. There is another way. If you right click on a PTZ and you've got open PTZ control there, it actually enables the mouse to be the PTZ controller. So if you hold the left key on the mouse, it enables that to be the control left, right, up and down, and the middle's on the mouse. If you've got a wheel in the middle, that is your zoom. But if right click and we'll close PTZ control, I prefer the USB joystick or the controls on the left hand side. So we'll just close the PTZ control down. Now if I double click, it goes back to its previous layout. we got there. So what you can do then is if you wanted a, let me just stop this. If you wanted a preset, a determined preset, like a view, a private view or a custom view as we call it. So up on the left hand side there, you'll have a what's called add view button. So if I click on add view, we'll call it DVS, can't spell, definitely can't spell. DVS view 1 for instance. Click add. So under custom view, we've got view 1. So what I could do is I want to make a 4-way split, so I'll drag some cameras across. So we'll have an ANPR camera, we'll have a, let's make it interesting, Darkfighter PTZ, Darkfighter X PTZ, and a 4K PTZ. So these are the ones I want in my view. You've got save view or save view as. Because I've already selected my view I've created, I just click save view. But I can then, if I wanted, create another view and then put, so one camera there. Let's just drag it, that one there for instance, that one there. Let's say this is a new view, I can click save view as. It'll bring up a box in a minute. So DVS view 2 and click save. There you go. I'm just going to stop this live video a second. So you've got your two views there. In fact, you can go up to 64. So if I wanted, the maximum I can view at any installation of 4200 is 64 cameras, and that could be across 1 or 4 screens. So it's 16 cameras on across 4 screens, or 64 on 1, or a combination of 4. But we support 4 extended screens, and then the 64 is the maximum limit. If I then go to my views and click on one view, it'll bring that view in. If I click on that view, it brings that view in. So nice and simple, and you can keep building custom views up as required. I'm going to stop that. So far we've been through adding devices, making views, some of the default settings, importing the names, which is the most important things. So some of the other functionality in there. So if I go back into control panel, you'll see that modules customization. So if I click on this, there's a whole host of functionality we can add into here. Some of it's not relevant for what we're going to show you today, but you've got things like the video wall. So if you've got a decoder, you've added a decoder into the software, we can control a decoder through the 4200. And we've got the E-map, we've got heat map, road traffic, behavior analysis, human body retrieval, people counting. Like some of these, like the human body retrieval, will require the correct camera and the correct NVR. Face picture retrieval, capture face analysis, counting, license plate retrieval, vehicle retrieval, lots and lots of functionality that we can add in. Some of them, for instance, like the status monitor, Pyronics control panel, time and attendance, they all require special devices that you need to add in before these will even work. But they are there should you have that device type in the first place. So now we'll click on OK and add it in. So you'll see now on the radio buttons, you've got a lot more modules in there. Now, for instance, if we look at the license plate retrieval and then select the camera from out that I know is an ANPR camera, select our start and end time, click search, and what it'll do then is go and interrogate the NVR and bring this back. Now, there's not much we can do within the there isn't any on there. So if we look at another one, where's the other one that's on the main road? Let's go for this one. So there isn't much we can do from there other than click on a camera. It shows you the static image there of when the plate was captured, and then if you click play, it'll play the relevant footage of that car when it was captured on the main road. Now you can select them all and then click on export picture, and you can save them to the 4200 locally, or to the PC locally from the 4200. I say if you click that and then click play, it'll just play that file. You can even, if you wanted, filter search, so I can actually, from there, filter search, click search, and it'll bring anything matching with those credentials in there. And then just save those, for instance. So that's the license plate retrieval. But you need an AMPR camera added to a I or K series NVR for that to work in the first instance. You've got things like people counting. So again, you need a people counting camera added to an NVR. So if we go into where's my people counting camera? There's my people counting camera added to my I series. So a weekly report, entered and exited, click search. So there. And then you can export that, so you can have it as a graph or a line, and then you can export that data. So that's people counting. You can only currently do one camera. If you wanted more than one camera, Hike Central supports multiple camera comparison. In the 4200, it's currently one camera. So that's the people counting. Then you've got things like heat mapping. So if we go to the 12 megapixel fisheye, go for a weekly report, generate heat map, and go to picture. So that shows us a weekly report, a fisheye camera. So again, you need a 6 or 12 megapixel fisheye for that to work. Or there is another heat mapping camera. Then if you go to vehicle retrieval, again, you need a specific camera that isn't, I don't have one fitted here. It's something that we'll be looking at for future development or future to bring it into the UK marketplace. So let me just close these modules down. But you can see for a free software, it supports a lot of things, and especially if you've got the correct device on the end of it, it becomes a very powerful solution. So video wall, if I did have a video wall, I can actually enter the video wall configuration, select my output, say HDMI output, and set up my screen, and then from this front end, I can drag cameras across to the video wall solution there. Again, nice and easy to use. We do a standalone dedicated iVMS-4200 video wall controller, which is more powerful than the built-in solution here. So if you need anything more than a drag and drop solution, and you need to interact with it more, then we got the standalone more powerful version. But for what you're probably looking for, where you just want to set a decoder up and be able to change the views accordingly, this is perfectly adequate. Come out with there, back to control panel. So again, we've got EMAP, electronic map. So each area supports a map. So I can click on add map, map name, just give it DVS. Let's pick a random one from pictures. Let's just pick like a. Let's pick my face. Okay, so on my face then, I can drag across a camera, a couple of cameras here and there. Once I've dragged it, so we've put it round there, happy that we've added my face to it, we've added the cameras around my face. If you click on map preview, it takes it out of edit mode. If you double click on that camera, it actually brings up a live view feed directly from that camera. You can place them around the map. So around the map, you can have live views directly from the cameras themselves. If you click force, if it makes the image larger. Or, for instance, you can have a hyperlink. So you could set it, go back to edit map. You can have it set up to, you can have an alarm icon put there. So let's add a couple of alarm icons. Click on OK. So we've added an alarm icon to it there. Yep, and then we've got access control, or we can add a region. Oh, we need to add. So what we could do is under this one is add a map to this. And just put test. My pictures. So as again, let's scale it back a bit, that's quite big. Again, we've got another map, so if I go back to map preview, go back to my original one. And then if we can link to another map. Yes, okay. And the map preview there, let's get rid of these, get rid of that, get rid of that. So there's my alarm icons there, my alarm icon, and then if I double click on that, it goes to the other map. So you can link between areas, but it does only support one map per area, but it makes it nice and handy, especially you can have this open on a screen, have all your cameras around the building, so your security guard team can see the cameras where they are around the site, and then if you double click on it, it gives you a live view feed. Anyway, come back out of that. Under control panel, you've got things like remote playback again. So again, if we go into click on remote playback, so this catches everyone out, so it's quite a nice feature. If we select a camera, say Darkfighter X, where are you, Darkfighter X? If I double click on a camera, for instance, now it'll only go back for the last 7 days. Now a lot of people ring and say their recorder's only recording for the last 7 days. So what it does is starts from midnight. So we're going back to the 3rd there, so double click on that. You've got the last 7 days there, so if I click on these days, it'll jump to that day. Oh god, that tea's disgustingly cold. So you've got your 7 days down there, let me just stop that. Click on there, now click play. So you do that, you'll see you can scroll through there. Zoom on the time bar, so you can zoom in on the time bar, make it, you know, closer, or zoom out, so you've got the 24-hour period, and then we've got right up till today. So anywhere I click on there, it'll come bring up that feed. There we go. It's quite nice and simple to do. Let's click stop on there. What you can do, if you need to go back further than 7 days, click on there, and then we can go from, say, the red this denominates that there's recording there. So say if I wanted to go from the 27th today, click on OK, click on that camera again, and it should find the recording. Now I got to go back a lot further, so it will take a lot longer. So right back to the 27th, and again, you can only click on the 7 days there, but you can go back more than 7 days. If you only get 7 days there, you'll see there. If you click on that like that, you can see it's a bit hard to see maybe your end, but you can see the days there. Anyway, or you can click on there then, and then click on there, click on OK, and it updates it straight that way. But this was only for the 7, so that was previous to 7 day, and you click on this, and then you can go up, click on that, click on OK, and it'll instantly go to that day. So if we wanted to view more than 2 cameras, if we click on, let's say 4 cameras, click on another one, so we'll go for this one here, double click on it, and it's going to find the footage. So you've got 2 cameras viewing. When it loads it, that's a 4K camera, so it might take a while to load. 2 modes they've added in now. You've got synchronous and asynchronous. So if I click on one and leave it as, so at the minute they're both playing back independently, so if I go like this, you'll see one update and not the other. If I wanted them both to update at the same time, click on synchronous, and as I move the time bar, you should find they both update at the same time. So you have synchronous and asynchronous mode, so a nice handy feature. I'm only going to do this on 2 cameras here because again, with the network and the screen capture software, I don't want it to start lagging. But you can support up to 16 cameras depending on the resolution. What you can also do now is something a new function in the last 2 versions. If I right click, I can click download straight from there, or they've added the icon for download there, and now I can actually select both cameras at the same time. So again, up to 16 cameras. My start and end time, so from midnight on, let's go from the 4th, because that's where we, let's actually go to the 9th, which is today. From midnight, yes, to the 9th. And let's make it 000005, yes. And the same for that one. 9th. Click download. Those will start downloading to the default location we said. There we go, blue bar telling you the progress. That'll start downloading now to the location, the default location. It will pop up in the corner there. There we go. So one's already done. Wait for the second one. If I click on that, it'll take us straight to the folder where you'll see the video. So the videos are there. If I double clicked on there or use VS Player, that'll open those two videos. And then you can export into wherever you want. So now we'll click cancel. Stop the view there. So that's basically how we do remote playback, multiple devices, do the multiple download. We've been through the synchronous, asynchronous, the time bar, the 7-day limitation. There is a lot more to this. So we got the VCA, so we can actually play back by VCA events. So if I go, I don't know if I've got any set up, but if I double clicked on one, a camera here, go to VCA events there, and you've got motion detection, line crossing, intrusion. So if I click line crossing, click draw the line there, and I'll click search. I don't know if anyone's come in between the search parameters, but let's see if it finds anything. The red one's the note where something has triggered it. What it'll do then is it'll play it ×8 in between the events. We'll go to the next event, and it'll skip it. So there we go. Where people are coming in, skip it. Skip it. So again, you can use, if you enable the VCA on the camera, we can use the software then to, let me just press pause on that. You can use the software to find that retrospectively with the line cross intrusion, motion detection, etc. And then we'll just come out with that when we finished and come out with that. So that's remote playback. Go back into there. Device management, account management, log search. Again, if you go into log search, you've got two options. You've got client logs and remote logs. Client logs is anything you've done within the software that's local to this, or remote logs is anything on a device. So you've got the two options there. That's really about all I wanted to run through with you today on the 4200. So it is a powerful solution. There are lots of other things in there that we can go through, like the alarm handling and stuff. But rather than bore you all to death, and you're all probably asleep by now. So now you've watched my video that's up to 32 minutes long now, I shall leave you to it. Hopefully you didn't find it too depressing and too boring. Hopefully it's going to be helpful for some of you. Don't forget to sign up to our YouTube channel, where you're going to be alerted for every time a new video goes live. If you've got any suggestions, please let us know. Give us a ring. If you need anything based on the information or any of our equipment, give sales a ring. Drop us a line. Follow us on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, for updates and competitions, prize draws, etc., etc. Hopefully we'll see you next week for another one. Thanks for watching, and sorry for the length of this one. Let me just get ready to press the stop button. See you soon, guys.